AI is nothing more than a giant pattern matching system with human language. And if you ask it, it will try to find a pattern that matches what you asked for and then give you that information in a human form, in a human language. If it's a pattern that it doesn't recognize, it will recognize something and give you something. So you always have to track and look at, and that critical thinking has to come in. What did it actually give me? Is this correct? Is this right? What am I going to use from it? And that gets us back to how leaders should be bringing this into their organizations and not haphazardly.
Right, exactly. I mean, when you pull back the veil, what you've just described is what AI is, but for many of us, it does feel like the great and powerful Oz. It's quite a powerful tool in terms of pattern matching. It does a heck of a job, particularly when you put it in sort of deep think mode or what it calls deep think mode. And they all have that, of course, now, at least the major ones do. It does feel like it's thinking, and it says thinking. Now, we know it's not thinking like we're thinking, but it does sort of feel like it is. And that's the thing. I think maybe I'm more impressed with how it makes me feel than exactly what it does, but I'm pretty darn impressed with what it does too. Now, don't take that as me just being an AI Kool-Aid drinker, because I do want to, measure these things adequately or accurately. And it does go back to what you said. Leadership has to make sure that we use the right technology at the right time with the right people, the teams, departments, whatever the case may be, and not just rush in. What's the old saying? Fools rush in, right? Not do that, but do it at a speed that our people can handle it, understanding that we're probably changing our culture, the organizational culture at the same time. And that requires, to me, a lot of nuance. And I think, if it falls to any one department, probably human resources is the one that's going to catch the mother load of this. But I think it really does begin with top level leadership and move on down.
So if we have that top level leadership listening to this, and they're recognizing some of the damage in their organization because they jumped in too fast. What's one small thing that they could do even next week to help this?
If they've gone too fast, I think they simply have to give themselves a mulligan, uh, to use a golf term, I guess you could say, like, "Oops, we didn't do this right." And I think it comes down to saying, to the organization, to the staff, "Look, we understand we rushed into this, or we didn't implement this in a way that, was in your best interest, and so we're gonna step back and rethink this and remodel this, and we're gonna take a more not cautious approach. We're going to take a more measured approach. We're going to take a more thoughtful approach. We're going to incorporate training. We're going to make sure that we use the tools that are necessary to use, not just anything and everything. You're going to have a voice in that conversation. I think, you got to give people buy in, right? Or the opportunity for buy in. And that means give them a voice. We're going to lay down policies that you can be a part of or representatives of your division, your group, team, whatever, can be part of. And, we're going to do this together, but we do need to understand, and I think this is the role of leadership as well. We have to move forward. There can be no going back to the way that we've done it. And you could say the seven last words are we've never done it that way before, but we've got to do it. So bear with us, know that we're trying to do it the right way, and we're gonna bring in whoever we need to bring in to help us, and we're gonna get it right. And I think that's wisdom.